I'm Yarnetta Leonard.
And I'm Liliana Campos.
And we are the first two participants in the DC Park Service Youth Summit.
The National Park Service, in partnership with preservation professionals and DC Public Schools, hosted a 4-day youth summit on the theme of citizenship and civil rights.
Youth summits are an amazing opportunity for students to get out of the classroom and connect to the materials in a completely different way through place, through tangible objects that they can touch, through interpreters who are passionate about the people and places and events that they're learning about. And this is a way for them to connect to history that's just not possible in the classroom.
Students earned community service hours by touring historic homes in Washington, D.C., such as those of social reformer and abolitionist Frederick Douglass, historian and journalist Carter G. Woodson, and educator and activist Mary McLeod Bethune. The group also visited the Belmont Paul House, home to the National Woman's Party for 90 years, and the epicenter of the struggle for women's suffrage and women's rights. The United States Capitol Building, the seat of the U.S. Congress and the legislative branch of the U.S. federal government, and the Anacostia Community Museum, where they learned about a transformational period in the history of the district.
It's important for high schoolers to know about these sites and these individuals. Their stories are absolutely inspiring. If young people understood these stories, they would understand the greatness that's in them as well. I'm telling you, if young people understood from whence they came, my goodness, it would revolutionize their life, and they would understand that there's a whole lot more in them than they've ever imagined. That is why this story and so many others in this area is important.
By visiting historic sites, it gives the students an opportunity to learn more about historical figures. Instead of Frederick Douglass, for example, being some guy they read about in a textbook, he becomes someone relatable that the students can look to as a role model. Students learn about big themes such as freedom, democracy, and equality, but then having these conversations with National Park Service workers, they get to relate these themes back into their lives.
I enjoy most of interacting with a lot of the tour guides, with a lot of the people who worked in these specific places. Also getting to know another student who cares as much about DC history as I do, and also getting to know people who work for the National Park Service and how much they are passionate about DC history.
For me personally, it was getting to know my city a little bit better. There's a lot I didn't know about DC, and this summit actually helped me learn a lot of new things. Like, I didn't know that Frederick Douglass's house was here at all, and you know, the Seawall Belmont House, I didn't know that existed either. So it's also getting to know that these things are available to us.
Students discussed the history, legacy, and preservation of the city, learned about careers in historic preservation, cultivated leadership skills, and engaged in educational exercises on democracy and what it means to be an engaged citizen.
Our student collaborators are amazing and really understand the ways that they can take advantage of these kinds of programs to advance their own futures.
Students and their National Park Service collaborators worked together to improve lesson plans for these historic places, providing innovative solutions that will bring much needed change to the public interpretation at NPS properties.
We are allowing the students to talk directly to educators, interpreters, historic preservationists to create better programming for the future. And we've really met that by having the students go to these places and having really in-depth discussions about their experiences there, what they would do differently, what they liked, what they didn't like, what they connected with.
The NPS collaborators were really helpful, and they interacted with us amazingly. They asked us questions, they asked about our opinions, and they listened to us, and they helped us dig and think deeper about how we feel about certain things nowadays in our communities.
This summit will help you not only learn more about your city, but of all the incredible things that happen here.
The National Park Service encourages DC public school educators to send their students to future youth summits, and for educational organizations to develop their own youth summits.
The great thing about history and about historic preservation is that it allows us to tell really big and important stories that connect to us today. A lot of the places that we visited this weekend, we were talking about citizenship and civil rights, and those topics transcend time. So it isn't just about the struggle for civil rights then, it's about the struggle for civil rights now. And these are stories that people can really connect with and that they can continue to have conversations about, not just here, but when they go home with their friends. They can go to the classroom and bring that insight and carry it with them as citizens of the United States.